live on however much money we got. So if you get real good, you get all that, he gets you real stretched, and then what does he do? He ends it, and you're out here, and you're a victim of the woolly boogers again. Well, yeah. Well, them woolly boogers, they're a deal. They're demons. Slicker and smarter than you'll ever be. When you get out here, you know what you've done? You made yourself easy. Now, are you still connected to the Lord? Yeah. And he said, you know, I had to die for all the trips that you've made into the darkness. And so here, it doesn't matter. You've got room to move around here, but here's favor. You're where you're supposed to be. You're working at the place you're supposed to work. You're having the things you're supposed to have. You're seeing your family do well. But the longer you spend in the darkness, the more fouled up and goofed up your family will be. And how do you tell that? How the kids deal with it. Yeah. And so you get out here and you say, well, my kids are just going crazy. That's because you went crazy and got out here amongst the woolly boogers. And there ain't a man or a woman in this room that can handle anything here in the darkness. You cannot. Well, Brother Bob, I'm pretty slick. Well, let us watch that for a year and we'll find out what slick isn't. Yeah. But out here you got to have your things. You got to have your drugs. You got to have your wine, and you got to have your beer. And you got to have your cigarettes. And you got to have your free time. You got to have little. So someone comes along and says, you know what? You got that nice old pickup. What you ought to do is spend about $1,000 to get you some fancy wheels on it. Oh, that'll make me happy. So I'll give you some fancy wheels. You know. So all it looks is good on the way to the junkyard now. You got nice rims on it. Got nice tires on it, but it looks good going to the junkyard. That's what it is. Why? Well, that's where it's headed. But in the world, then you're trying to deal with the world, and the world's already dealt with you. So there is a king in the light. Well, there's a king in the darkness too. Yeah. And this has to be done in the heart. And get in the light. But you have to want the light. But here's the thing. You must walk the light that Jesus has for you. You can't do both. Now, am I saying that most of the church today is where? Right here. Doing as little as possible, you know, working on the things we want to work on, and what we're trying to do is constantly get this much light into the darkness. So it'll make us operate better here. But most of the church is here. It is. We make little sacrifice. We only worry about our own things. You know, if you say I've got a problem with being all about me, here's all about me right here. So if you get too far in here, it won't become about you. It'll be becoming what's happening to you out here. So then what do? You want to run back and undo what you've sown up there. But you see, that still comes up. Because it's a matter of what the heart's doing. You didn't physically reach in your pocket and sow a bunch of bad seed out here. Your heart brought you here, and it's a heart issue, and there's bad stuff in the heart. Because there's areas of darkness here that you have to get rid of. And where do you get rid of them? Here. Looking in the light, and it'll show you your darkness. Then you say, God, help me with my darkness. And He will. But if you don't really learn anything, you know what you do? Well, I've been down there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see what darkness is over here. Let me try over here now. This is a little different. Okay. Well, I can still see the light, so I'm okay. So what have you done? Just open another door. And you wear this now and say, well, I can't do that. I know what I'll do. I'll get over here. I'll get over here with Casey. But Casey's in the light, so I've got to scoot back here. Okay, now I'm over here. All I'm doing is opening another door. More woolly boogers. Some of you ate up with woolly boogers. You don't know it. The thing of it is, the more time you spend in the darkness, the more you hear the voice of the darkness. The more time you spend in the light, you hear the voice of the light. See, obeying is a big deal. Now, one time people wanted me to do a wedding. So I talked to the groom about his vows. And he's talking about love, honor, and obey. And he said, that'll all be good, I'll say that. So we talked to his bride about obeying. And she said, well, for me, you can leave the obeying out. He can obey me, but I'm not obeying him. Okay, let's get way back here in the darkness now. Way back here. Yeah, let's get back here. Mm-hmm. All right. Wonderful. Now, how do you get the light in there? Well, you see, if obedience is a problem here, it's a heart problem. It's a rebellion problem. It's the things you can't let go of. You know, it's really funny how we justify staying here just a little bit in the shadows. A lot of people are comfortable here. You know why? I can dibble, dabble, 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 and I can try to dabble over here. See, dabbling don't work on this side. It'll work here, though. And then while you're here, if you haven't attracted anything yet, you're fixing to. Well, they're going to come here and see about you. The demons, the woolly boogers. And the king of the woolly boogers is coming. I said, Brother Bob, you don't have much respect for Satan. Do you? No, I don't have any. So what you do, what I need to do, is fill myself up with light. And this is representation now. But fill myself up with light. And if I go along here, and if I find Elizabeth in the darkness, I need to come and look for Elizabeth, but I'm bringing light, not darkness. And we want to talk to her heart to heart and ask her to come to us in the light. That's my job. Bring her to the light. But I do it by my life, sometimes by my words. So if I gather light up, and I've got it, and I go and talk to her, and if she says, you're crazy, I don't want any part of that, I'm going to live my own life, I've got to let her do that. I can, but we have to have a heart change to get in the light. So can a Christian person live in darkness? Yeah, they can. Yeah. Why? The darkness blinds you. Verse 11. But whoever hates his brother is in the darkness and walks around in the darkness. He does not know where he is going because the darkness has blinded him. So, how bright is the darkness? The darkness is bright so that you're in it and you can't see the stuff. And you can be blinded by this. You can. How do you know that? Well, Brother Bob, I was saved when I was 12. But I've done all kinds of things in the darkness. You see, the darkness is attractive to the old nature. Your old nature cannot live in the light. Here, your old nature is as lazy can be. It's as crooked and deceptive as crooked and deceptive can be. It can be as gluttonous as it can be. Every negative thing can be here. Here you can be discouraged, you can be deceived, you can be disconnected. You can go through all these that start with a D. There's a whole bunch of them. Why, that's what this life is. And this is what the world is offering you. This. So how do I clean up my life? Lord, I give my life to you. Help me to clean up my life. And he'll say, okay, I want you to start with one thing. Let me show you what it is. Ooh, I didn't know that was a problem. I hate my mother, hate my brother, hate my mother, hate my sister, hate my friend, I hate my people I work with, I hate somebody. Now let's work on that. As you see, hate lives in the darkness. Love lives in the light. So it can blind you into doing some little old thing. See, I'd rather go here and get stuck with Jesus' super glue where I can't get away from here. Yeah. I want to be in this chair and glue. I want to get home, man, I'm stuck here. Do you know what? I'm not hollering for help. Not here. But you see, if you're going to walk in the light, you've got to live in the light, in the light of the return of Jesus Christ. Yeah, you can be deceived. They do it all the time. Well, Christians be possessed is the same thing. That's what they say out here. But if a Christian can be possessed and the Christian's full of the Holy Spirit, then a demon's going to come push the old nature out, get a hold of the old nature and going to push the Holy Spirit out of the way. What? What? Where have you been? Like the ad's on right now, somebody living under a rock. You push it back and say, well, that's what they say down here. So a demon or Satan himself is going to come and crowd the Holy Spirit out in somebody who's truly born again? What's wrong with you? What? They can. But backsliding is simply what we're talking about. You've been in the light, but the world looks attractive.